morning, everyone. My name is Lucy Fox.
Hi, morning. My name is Jessie.
My name is Kennedy.
My name is Sunny.
My name is Liliana Evans.
Good morning, my name is Presley Hutter.
So today our topic is tribal politics. And how does tribal politics impact the community? Our definition is tribal, adjective, characteristics of a tribe or tribes. Politics, noun, activities within organizations that are aimed to improve someone's status or position and are typically considered to be devious or divisive. Impact, the action of one object coming forcibly into contact with another, have a strong effect on someone or something. Group of people living, community, group of people living in the same place and having a particular characteristic in common. Nepotism, patronage bestowed or favoritism shown on the basis of family relationships as in business and politics. Okay.
Article, tribal leaders ask support of climate legislation. Author, Rob Campestino. Source, Indian Country Today, Rapid City, North Dakota, 11/11/2009. A group of tribal activists environment and legal organizations is requesting that tribes support climate legislations, especially given current incentives posted in Congress. Jerry Porfila, NTEC exclusive director, says that negative impacts of man-made climate change is having adverse and disproportionate impact on tribal communities across the nation. He added that it is important for Obama's administration and Congress to include Indian tribes and their leaders to develop politics and strategies to reverse these impacts. John E. Echohawk, NARF Executive Director, later note that indigenous people have contributed little to the global carbon footprint, yet they are suffering disproportionately from the effects of climate change.
So my topic was addiction and alcohol and drug use on the reservation, and my article is Be Your Own Influence, and it goes towards the adolescents. There is 4 authors. Megan Crabtree, Linda Stanley, Kathleen Kelly, and Randall Swam. This study is for adolescents, male and female, school-based intervention designed to delay adolescents' substance abuse initiation. Be under your own influence, American Indian youth. 5 reservation-based middle schools, 3 schools randomly assigned to receive BUYOIAI. 2 schools, 2 served as controls. Starts with 7th grade to not use alcohol and marijuana before the end of 8th grade. The findings in this delay, the first time alcohol use and intoxication, AI adolescents reported the highest level of substance youth compared to the US youth. AL, American Indian, AI, I'm supposed to say, sorry. Adolescents start using substances like alcohol, marijuana, cigarettes, and inhalants, starting at a significantly young age. For decades among reservations-based American Indian youth, the lack of effective cultural appropriate interventions, there is little progress made to reduce the rates. BYOIAI, Media-Based Substance Use Prevention Program, the message to express personal identity, anatomy, critical development through theory of reframing, message of reframe substance abuse as inconsistent with individuals' sense of personal anatomy and their future aspirations. Self-determination theory, a broad framework defining intrinsics, source of motivation that contribute to individual well-being. Adolescents can and should make their own decisions about substance use rather than being made by peers and others. The study of this article hired local staff in the communities to recruit 7th graders. Retention rates were high because the research team worked directly with the local school staff and ensured students completed their survey. 84% of students to participate in the study completed the final survey across all participants' schools, 510 original study, 325 students in the intervention schools, 185 attending controlled schools. The final amount was 269 in 7th grade, and the average age was 12.5 to 13.8 in the last assessment that made it the 269. This study showed just how young substance abuse or use starts at 12. That's super young. And how the study itself taught them to be accountable, but also taught them to know that they had a future and that there was more for them to do than to just use. And the peer pressure, I didn't realize, I mean, we all went through it, but I didn't realize the peer pressure of it was at such a young age. The outcome of the study was that girls were more likely to not use than boys were. Boys were pressured more by their peers and they used.
What year was the study?
2013.
Thanks.
That's it.
Thank you.
So my topic is one of the biggest struggles we face as a community is nepotism. Nepotism is defined as favoritism shown on the basis of family relation, as in business and politics. The article written by David Melmer gives us an example of what that looks like. Fort Thompson, South Dakota, on the Crow Creek Tribal Council, Chairman Big Eagle hired his son-in-law as tribal planner, and later he was given the position as casino manager. Big Eagle's stepdaughter was named to the position as criminal investigator after the former investigator was fired. Not only did tribal officials face nepotism accusations, they also faced misuse of funding due to council salary advances as well as council trips to Washington, D.C. The tribal council labeled the accusations as rumors. Tribal members then started a petition demanding full accounting of all the tribal finances, including monthly, quarterly, and annual reports. People questioned why there were so many council meetings that were held behind closed doors, and this was also petitioned. Petitioners demanded meetings to be held at the tribal hall so people could attend and have input in tribal business. That's it.
Thank you.
The article I chose was Struggle for Power. The title was Struggle for Power, the Impact of Sunshine and Schoolboys on Tribal Politics by Donald J. Britton. And this tells you about how young members of the Southern Cheyenne and Arapaho tribes influence and help shape tribal politics during the education period. In the article, the schoolboys who received education in off-reservation schools brought together new perspectives and ideas, which went against their structures within their communities. This article discusses how these educated young members introduced new concepts and pushed for changes to the tribal government, acting as advocates for change. The youth challenged the elderly and the tribes by sharing new ideas and information they learned in the school with education. These young individuals wanted to see the transformation within their tribe. With their involvement in the tribal politics, they had debates and discussion about new leaderships and power development. Overall, this article is about how youth and education can be involved and influence the political environment and in the indigenous communities. It emphasizes how it is just important to listen to young youth and recognize their leadership abilities and contributions made by young people within tribes by promoting social and political change within their communities.
Thank you.
So my article is about the misuse of tribal funds. It talks about a tribal official who misused to embezzle funds for his own personal well-being and not for the tribe. So the article describes how James Wayne Petro, one of the former tribal leaders of the Cheyenne and Afro tribes of Oklahoma, and a member of the 8 leaders of the business community that has covered the tribes, pled guilty in the Oklahoma federal court for embezzling over $200,000. Authorities have given testimony that although many of the tribal community members were tasked to operate various tribal programs with the revenue from the tribe's casinos, members have commonly misused these funds for personal investment, vacation trips, or subsidies for land. My summary of the article is cases of tribal members misusing funds for personal use have continued to spark many negative upbringings for the native communities across North America. Such lack of care and mishandling of funds has resulted in a positive progress when it comes to solving issues such as poverty, rehabilitation for addiction and alcoholism, education, or a lack of access to food and clean water. Tribal funding was given to help native communities in need. At the same time and time again, how tribal leaders have refused to make any change, it's becoming harder to turn a blind eye.
Good, thank you.
My article is called Healthier Tribal Housing, combining both old and new. And it's basically my topic is surrounding the tribal issues containing homes and whatnot. Anyway, it says many tribal homes have a big mold problem, and it seems like the leaders of these communities aren't doing much about it. On one reservation, they estimate that a whopping 75% of homes contain mold. Even though studies and reports highlight the issue, it appears the tribal leaders are ignoring the problem. The 2010 Montana State University study highlighted that there is a visible mold in over a third of homes on various reservations throughout Indian country. This shows the leaders' apparent disregard for the well-being of their communities. Respiratory issues, including asthma, are just one of the many health risks community members face. The leaders don't really seem to be in a rush to fix the root problems like poorly built homes, lack of funding towards housing, and too many people living within one home. The historical link between substandard housing and health problems seems lost to tribal leaders, as federally funded homes continue to be plagued by issues dating back to the 1870s. Despite federal programs offering support, the slow response from tribal leaders leaves a trail of unaddressed challenges, including a severe housing shortage exceeding 250,000 units. While some tribes are exploring different construction approaches for healthier homes, there is a perception that leaders are not prioritizing the issue. The delayed response that The delayed response and apparent lack of urgency underscores the need for leaders to take some action and prioritize the well-being of their tribal community.
Thanks.
That's all I got.
And what kind of solutions did your data give you?
With the nepotism one, I read like there should be, like training to the higher, more training on the subject. And there was 3 of them. I can't think right now.
Right, and who would do the training? Would it be an outside person to come
Yeah,
in? You know what I mean?
that-
Because if they select another one
Right.
to do the training, there, nothing happens.
Right.
Yeah.
Also like enforcing the policies better, as in like the hiring status. That was another one.
Yep, HR,
Yeah.
yep.
And there was one more.
Good. Any others? I heard 2 from kind of the same bent, Sunny and Jesse. You both had solutions mentioned with kind of the same theme, and that was with youth.
Yeah, mine was with youth, starting, with addiction starting so young, the tribal committees could find more ways to teach and preach about drug and alcohol abuse and more ways to reach the young kids about their future if they want to change the ways of the reservation, to start with the youth.
And Sunny also had that
Uh,
with the young people.
oh yeah,
and
mine were with the young people. Mine was mainly having them like speak up.
bring ideas to the table. And what do young people want? Safety, good food, good teachers. I mean, the real fundamentals. Okay? Now they want to have fun too on their Fortnite app and whatever, but you know, so. Any other solutions? Because your data does give you solutions. And you had some good studies here, folks. Little older ones, but you'll find when you do your research for Speech to Inform, sometimes older articles really help you, and then to get more current ones. Okay, question answers. Did anything trigger the audience at 9 a.m.?
I have one. So, Ari, I don't even know if it's really a question, but like, I think all of your guys' things have like a factor to one another. That's why there's such a big issue like on the regs and stuff. Like, what do you guys think is like the major issue that's contributing to these other issues?
I
It's
feel
the root.
Yeah. I feel like they get away with so much, you know, like that's where all the favoritism comes in, and then it kind of leaves a trail, like a domino effect. That's why we have such bad housing, and where's the funding going in, and our youth, and, you know, it just starts from the top and pretty much just goes, I feel.
And the key word is intrinsic. So if you have a system where it's not working inside, it's not practiced, you know, the system is not going to succeed, even in areas. And so with systems theory, you want as much as possible in the system to work. It's like our bodies. We're a system. We have a brain, we have a heart, we have, well, some days we don't have a brain. We have a heart, we have lungs, we have blood, we have all these systems that get us to class. And it's very much in systems theories for organizations that if your pancreas quits, what do you got to do? You got to get some insulin, right? So you really did show kind of the systems application to the nepotism issue. And it's not going away. I mean, it's kind of a constant in history where you have a system and you have this occur. But I think the fact that you're speaking of it and giving voice to it, I don't know if that occurred 15 years ago in a fundamentals class. You know, keep it under, don't want to name names. And the fact that you're giving a voice to it is empowering. It's very important. And we don't think speech is important. We don't think writing is important. But it is giving you some empowerment, even at this low level of 101, 110s, you know, for English and for speeches. Okay, good. Any other Q&As? Good. That was a good question.
I think it stems back from like how we were led when we were long ago. I mean, there was the chief, and then his family were always the rulers, and they would step in and they would pick. It's like a tribal thing, and then we just gotta make it, advocate that nepotism, what nepotism actually is, and that it's not good for a leader. I mean, for a government to be only one family or only one set of people, and it's hard because we're all related. If you think about it, I mean, we literally would all have to swap tribes or something to make it better.
It's
You
almost,
pick this one
yeah.
family, this one family, yeah, it's
Oh.
The leaders from each tribe go to a different one. You can't leave this one, you're from here, you have to leave Puerto Rico. So that, the only we would probably stop, as if they didn't know anybody on the tribe.
I think it's definitely an abuse of power among the people, or just like a lack of communication, or not seeing eye to eye with like people who are in need of food.
That's all governments, to be honest, not just ours.
I think another thing is that like in most reses, I think they lack a lot of motivation to like become part of leadership.
Right.
And I think that's why there's another part of why families choose families.
Yeah.
You know?
I think,
education for a lot of the people.
That's why I feel like voting is a really big thing too. If you want change, just go vote. Then I always say some people want change, but then some people are scared of change. But I don't think change is for the better. They're, you know, for times. That's just my opinion.
And from a young age, we're taught to be quiet by our elders, so as young ones are like, you know, never mind. You know what I mean? But we wanna, but then we know better, because our grandma will give us the look. Shit, never mind. So it kind of stays with us even into our older age, you know, not to speak up because we get shut down. So if we get our mindset out of that and teach our kids to speak up on things that you think is wrong, it'll really start changing us.
What do you guys think needs to be like on the reservation to help with leadership?
Or the solution to the problem, like the,
Like specifically, what is one thing that will be able to like help with the leadership on the reservations?
I feel like if we're talking about funding, like a true audit of where everything is going, and then that's to be able to hold them accountable for what is getting done, like if $200,000 was embezzled and for their use, like where could that money go elsewhere to help the tribe? Like I feel like you always gotta start somewhere.
And
If that's if that's where, you know, your issue is, you're looking at and starting, then that's a good spot.
I feel like taking more legal action too, because a lot of times they just slap on the wrist, you know.
Do you guys think implementing term limits would help at all?
What term limits would be
Like
suggesting?
being in power or whatever.
Like how the
you
president's
can
only
be a
president for 4
chairman or
years
whatever.
and
Yeah.
give you.
I don't know if there is there?
There isn't no terms.
I didn't read anything like that. I did read
No
about
terms
like
in Congress
lawyers and our.
That would be something, yeah, I think that would be something good, because, you know, a lot of times this person has like a bigger family, so they get all the votes. I think that would be good too.
One of my solutions was at least keeping receipts to like say the tribal funds, like keeping receipts to where that money is going, like for the people in the community, instead of just like handing them over to somebody and like expecting them to do it, but then they end up doing something else with it, you know?
I think education is a big one too, because a lot of times they just hire anybody, you know, it's like who you know, not what you know. And then that's where a lot of mistakes are made, like in financials and stuff like that. I've seen it, I've seen it. So, of course you can't prove it, you know, but.
I did read an article about having stricter, more strict outcomes, like even for like lawyers, like if you are defending Native Americans that did do wrong and then you're winning the cases to make them innocent, like there will also be, in this article, it will be consequences for the lawyer too. So if we are, our reservation, if our lawyers and judges all, you know, actually had more of a consequence for what they did wrong, and the outcome might change. I've never been to court or got in trouble in a reservation, so I don't know how it works. I've got a speeding ticket. I probably pooped my pants if I go to jail.
It's not that bad, it's like boarding school.
It's just like boarding school.
Well, I did that.
Or camp, there you go.
Everybody's in the camp break.
And you can conclude.
Yay.
Thank you guys for listening and asking questions.